Hello and welcome to another Warcraft III audio commentary. Today we're going to be watching a match from the Fit4Gaming Team League between Fs.Spiral spawning as the red undead in the lower left versus RG.Insomnia spawning as the green human in the upper right. This is indeed going to be a map a little different than what you're probably used to. This is the Ashenvale Dispute. It's an interesting map. There's a lot of creeps on it, as you can see. Let's just take a quick look. Around. We can see there is lots of usage of ramps, which I love. There's a cool little cave with those little murlocs right there. As you can see, a green camp. Got basically your gold mine, classic gold mine. I love the use of the ramps in this map. This is one of my favorite maps just because of the usage of the ramps, and I really like it. I'm not a huge fan of the creeps on the map, but as you can see, I don't like furbolgs. There are a lot of furbolgs all over the place, but that's Ashenvale for you. And just to go ahead and show, there are going to be 4 additional gold mines on the map as I'm just browsing over them, I suppose you can say. This one right here and this one right here, these 2 gold mines in the extreme corners of the map, those are just like they spawn with the same amount of gold as a gold mine would spawn if you were a player spawning into the game. So 12,500 gold, and these are 1,500 gold mines here in the little bit closer to the middle of the map, and that's pretty much the map in a nutshell. So over here we're gonna see it looks like a Archmage gonna go ahead and militia creep out this camp right here. Gonna go ahead and try to pick off this Acolyte as he gets away. The Archmage being blocked there ever so slightly by that Timber Wolf. Gonna go ahead and kill that Acolyte. We do have now this Death Knight coming up here to go ahead and try to get a Jack on this creep camp, and will he be able to steal anything? Not quite, but he will go ahead and raise some skeletons, which he will then try to use as effectively as possible, and he should be able to, maybe get a kill on one of these peasants right here. He is trying to do so. He could coil it and kill it right there, as you can see. Down it goes to a coil indeed. We do see a very forward arcane tower right there on the outside of the base from the human, a little closer to the base. A lot of times you might see one right here, for example, but this time we're just going to see it still on the outside, but going to be up against the town hall right there. Now, once again, we're going to see a little bit more harass going off of right here. You can go ahead and see the Death Knight just going ahead and just trying to stop this human from creeping as fast as he wants to. You're going to go ahead and steal some experience right there with the coil. Nicely done killing that troll. There's one more troll. Will he get that experience? I believe he indeed got that experience as well. Nicely done. However, the Archmage will go ahead and pick up that Tome of Intelligence. You go ahead and kills a critter. Of course, you don't want critters running around. They can be very bothersome. They can block you. You can lose units that way. Of course, you can sometimes use them to block your opponent as well. But either way, he would decided that was how he wanted to play it. You go ahead and see a Fiend is now out on the map. You go ahead and see him harassing now with that Fiend. Gonna come in here, I'm sure, yes indeed, with his Death Knight. Looks like he's sending a Skeleton Warrior to scout the human base. Let's see, trying to kill this water elemental? No, going for the Footman instead. I was going to say that would be an odd choice, but no, trying to kill this Footman. I'm going to go ahead and see the human player is teching, does have a blacksmith on the way up, as well as a lumber mill, still sitting at 3 farms, at 26 out of 30 food. We can see this Fiend running away from this human army, as the human army has now hit level 2, and he is chasing the undead around the map. Over here at the undead base, we can see he does have 3 goals in his base, and he is now, of course, pumping fiends out, teching for tier 2, and looks pretty much what you expect. Yeah. Gonna go ahead and see a Crypt Fiend now running away. Both players apparently having some issue with lag. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe just lag screens popping up and annoying them, but either way, not apparently a huge deal. You see both these Fiends are very low on HP at this point. They're both half HP or lower, roughly. You can see this one a little over half HP, actually. And this one right here, just a little bit under it. So not really the greatest position for the health bars of the undead units. And you're going to go ahead and see now that he is down to 1 skeleton or a charge of Rod of Necromancy on that Death Knight. And we're going to see the human player now running away there as both players kind of skirmish right here. The human player turning around at the top of that ramp, summoning another water elemental, and once again going to go ahead and get a hit off onto that Death Knight from the Archmage. Going to go ahead and hit one of these Fiends now. Brought this Fiend down to 174 life. Is it going to try to chase it down with this Archmage? Going to go ahead and hit the full HP Fiend, bring that one down to 520 life. Of course, Fiends are not regenerating HP just yet. There is no Unholy Aura to provide the regeneration for them, and while they are off Blight, they do not regenerate life without that aura. So those units are going to stay very low on HP for some time. Over here we can see both players now have decided to go their separate ways. The human player up here now, over here, basically going to go for this creep right here maybe on this gold mine. It could very easily be the case. And it looks like maybe both players will meet here. Yes, indeed. Both players are going to meet at this inner gold mine. And maybe we'll see a little bit of a fight as the undead runs away. Not necessarily wanting to engage the human just yet. Maybe just wanting to make sure he has better positioning. He does have 4 fiends, which is enough fiends to engage the human. As he runs away, you're going to see the human also running away. The human only has 3 footmen and his level 2 archmage. He certainly could not beat the undead in a fight right now. And the undead will actually go ahead and creep this gold mine out himself, it looks like. Quick little pause there, not a big deal. You're going to go ahead and see a skeleton warrior scout in the human base. You're going to see he is tier 2. Going to lose that to that arcane tower, not really a big loss. Going to be able to see there is an arcane sanctum going up from this human player. He is researching black gunpowder, of course. Increases, of course, your riflemen, mortar teams, siege engines, and flying machines, and we do see some rifles are over here. Mountain King just now coming out. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a scroll of regeneration as well as a clarity potion. Over for the undead player, we can see he's got a lich out now. A nice, very nice lich, of course, hero to get. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say there, but yes, a lich out, second very good hero to have. We're going to see, of course, a slaughterhouse is up, obsidian statue is on the way out, as well as another fiend. So going up to 5 fiends and a statue, an interesting build, going very fiend heavy. It looks like he may very well be concerned about well, yeah, so anyway, both players, of course, a little bit of, you know, happiness from the players. I'm sorry, I think one of these creeps just cast sleep on the lich. Well, the lich was slept right there. The Dreadlord's ability sleep, and I believe one of these creeps have done just that. Maybe it's the Dark Troll High Priest that can do that. I'm not sure. That's very powerful, though. He tried to pull the creep camp out, and that happened. The human player, of course, came down in the meantime to try to do something to the undead army there. He maybe just wanted to try to kill that lich. He saw it was out of position right there. And will we see another sleep going off? Yes, indeed. That is definitely coming in from this Dark Troll High Priest right there. As you can see, a very nasty creep, actually. That's terrible. Sleep is very powerful, of course. But very interesting, nonetheless. Very interesting. We do see the undead about to hit level 3 on the Death Knight, and probably he could get it from this creep camp. I'm not sure if he's going to. We'll see. There should be enough, I think, with this lich here, but maybe not. I don't think he's going to be very close. Yes, as you can see, very close. 487 out of 500 experience. He does need 13 more experience to level up. The lich at level 1, 2 experience from level 2. Of course, getting level 2 on your lich is always nice as well. Gives you Frost Armor, which is the first pick of the lich, as well as Frost Nova, which is very powerful. Go ahead and see the lich picking up Orb of Corruption. He did buy a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability over here at the shop. We do have to see this human player now coming over here, just trying to scare the undead army a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure if he knew the undead army was there, if he was just going to try to go in there and do something. I'm going to go ahead and see a coil on one of those water elementals. Going to give level 2 to that lich and level 3 to the Death Knight. Nice done. Nicely done by the undead. Have an abomination coming out as well, and destroyer form now being researched, and an obsidian statue queued up right behind that research. Let's take another look over here. The rifles are currently at 1-0. The human player is still at keep tech, so he has not upgraded from tier 2 just yet. Also has not begun to build an expansion yet, but he does happen to have some peasants on the map, or maybe they're going back to base. It looks like that. I love these little, it's almost like a secret passageway, this ramp right here, if you notice. I really love that. I think it's so cool. And it's also really cool because it's just so very, what's the word? It's very tight, so getting through here could pose strategical issues if you have an expansion right here. And as you can see, you're open really right through here. But as you can see, everything has to come through essentially ramps to get there. So you can put up really good defenses if you want to expand right here. But of course, you have a lot of places to defend essentially if you would like to take advantage of that. So it's a cool little, it's cool. I like it. I just like it. But anyway, we're gonna see the human player now creeping out this mercenary camp, letting the level 2 Mountain King tank. He does have a replenishment potion. He can use that if he needs to heal up. I'm gonna go ahead and give the experience to the Mountain King. He is level 2 on that Mountain King and level 3 on the Archmage, so he does not need to worry about that right now. just trying to get level 3 on that Mountain King. We're going to see the Undead player now getting 3 on his Death Knight as well as 3 on that Lich, of course, about to hit level 4 now, maybe 80% of the way through level 2, or level 3, I would say, on that Death Knight, with a Potion of Invulnerability, 15-second Invulnerability Potion on that Death Knight, a very nice item, as well as Khadgar's Pipe of Insight, which is an amazing item. Gives level 1 Brilliance Aura, very, very effective, very, very nice, especially for undead, really for undead heroes, because they often find themselves in a late game situation where having a pipe of insight is very important, because you know you end up taking lots of little skirmishes, lots of little fights where you're trying to pick units off, and having that extra mana regeneration is a huge help. Of course, I say that. How often does that exactly happen where you're down to just your heroes, you don't even have a statue? Who knows? But of course, it's just a big help when either way, even if you're not in that situation. And over here we can see the human player creeping this out, picking up a Scourge Bone Chimes, a nice item to have just for the Mountain King alone. He might sell it and he might not, simply because 15% life still on the Mountain King is pretty good. As he doesn't do a huge amount of damage, 32 to 42, but let's just say he does, let's just say he does 30 damage a hit at 15% life still. That's not bad. It's not a huge amount, but can add it up to the priest. It's not bad at all. And I was going to tell you what 15% of 30 is, and I was like, well, I'm not sure I can actually do that in my head. Maybe 30%, 10% of 30 would be 3, right? So maybe like 3.5-ish, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and see a Rifle going ahead and getting Coil Nova down as the Undead player TP's out, and a Fiend getting bolted and thunderclapped as well, as well as a bit of Focus Fire. So a Rifle, something else died. I'm not quite sure what that was. That died right there. But at least one Rifle and at least one Fiend, as well as one more unit. I believe it was a human unit, but I don't know what it was. And the Undead burning the TP. So the human player certainly got the better end of that right there. Human player coming up here to creep. Gonna have to come down to this camp instead, because the Undead player has already crept that out. If we look at the items real quick, we can see the Archmage sitting on 2 mantles with intelligence +3. That's +6 intelligence in total. A Town Portal, as well as a Gloves of Haste. The Mountain King sitting on a Wand of Wind, 3 Cyclone charges. Ancient Django of Endurance, of course, gives you Endurance Aura, very nice. Scourge Bone Chimes, still has the Replenishment Potion and now a Scroll of Healing. He did give the Archmage a Claws of Attack +6. And we're going to see the Archmage picking up a Scroll of Healing himself right there. You go ahead and sell the Claws of Attack and the Gloves of Haste. And going to go ahead and sell the Replenishment Potion, picking up a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Mountain King. And I think that's all. I think that's all he was picking up right there. The Scroll of Healing and the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Over here for the Undead player, we can see he does have a Destroyer out now.
A player's forces are under
Still has pretty much the same items. Potion of Invulnerability, 15 seconds long on that Death Knight. Scroll of Town Portal on the Death Knight. Wand of Lightning Shield, Wand of the Wind. Or Wand of Wind, yeah, Wand of the Wind. It gives you the 3 charges of Cyclone, of course. Circlet of Nobility and Khadgar's Pipe of Insight on that Death Knight. And then over here on the Lich, we do have Illyria's Flute of Accuracy. Really nice item to have. Of course, giving that 10% bonus damage to those Fiends, the Destroyers, as well as the Lich. The Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, Rod of Necromancy, up to 3 charges. Orb of Corruption, and now a Cloak of Shadows. Also going to go ahead and pick up a Potion of Greater Mana. Really nice item to have on a Lich or a Death Knight. Both benefit greatly from that item. And let's see the food counts here. 65 out of 66 on this human, and 66 out of 70 on the undead. You go ahead and see pretty much the human player TPing as the undead player TPs out. He did run into the human base right there, and pretty much we saw a fiend die, and I think we saw something else die. Again, I didn't quite catch it. But yeah, so you can see the human player is sitting on 64 out of 66 food now, and the undead player is sitting on 63 out of 70 food right now. So there you have it. Of course, I'm sure both players have rebought their TPs. It looks like the undead player has certainly bought his TP back, and the Archmage has also bought his TP back, and he just bought a Tome of Retraining. So he's going maybe a Blizzard build now. This is very likely. He does have casters as well as spellbreakers and rifles, so that will allow you to get a lot of the really well-positioned Blizzards off. Hitting your own spellbreakers, of course, does no damage to them, and the water elementals are essentially food for the destroyers. So Still, neither player has actually gone for an expansion just yet. The human player might have been going for one, but not going to happen. Going to see some ghouls running in here. We're going to see a blizzard. That blizzard, kind of an odd position, but the undead is just going to run into it while he right-clicks and tries to kill that archmage. The archmage is going to back off, going to get invisible. Cast Honor. We do see several abominations in this fight now. Will we see? Well, there's a nice Nova right there. The archmage probably will come out. Yes, indeed, comes out now. He knows that Nova is not going to be a problem. Goes ahead and casts Wand or Cyclone on that Death Knight from the Mountain King, I believe. The Lich actually goes down while the Death Knight was in Cyclone. Unfortunate. We do see now a lot of these abominations not really doing a lot, but we do see one of those abominations going down. And if we take a look, we can see the undead player at 57 out of 70 food, and the human player at 57 out of 66 food, going up to 60 food as I say that. Essentially, we can check 52 now food on, well, no, 57 food. He went ahead and taverned back his Lich. So there you have it. Gotta have your Lich. Very important hero to have. Let's see, on these items, we can still see 2 charges of the Wand of the Wind on that Mountain King, as well as Scourge, Bone Chimes, Ancient Django of Endurance, and still a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. On the Archmage, Scroll of Healing, 2 Mantles of Intelligence +6, and of course still the Scroll of Town Portal. The Lich still has, or the Lich now has a Potion of Invulnerability, which is 15 seconds invulnerability, as well as the rest of his items. The Illyria's Flute of Accuracy, Orb of Corruption, Rod of Necromancy, 3 charges, Circlet of Nobility, and a Cloak of Shadows. On this Death Knight, we can see has a Wand of Lightning Shield, 1 charge, Wand of the Wind, 3 Cyclone charges, Great Potion of Greater Mana, and a Khadgar's Pipe of Insight. The human player now is positioning down here to attack this undead base. He still has not put up an expansion yet. Does he have any? There are some militia coming in here, and the undead is actually going to come in from the back of this human army. Go ahead and kill some of these units right there, picking off some militia as well as a priest. And now we're going to see these peasants have, or the militia have turned into peasants, and we're going to see this fight going underway now. A nice blizzard right here, catching a lot of these fiends right there, as well as abominations. We're going to go ahead and see a Cyclone up on the Death Knight. The Mountain King, of course, taking a ton of damage. We're going to see the Cyclone going off onto the Archmage. Mountain King down to 94 HP. Going to go ahead and use a Potion of Invulnerability as well as a Scroll of Healing. Going to see the Lich taking a bit of damage here. Going to see a Wand of the Wind Cyclone charge being used on the Archmage once again. Are we going to see some of these units going down now? Because there's a lot of units in this fight that could die very low on this HP. That's a Destroyer going down. We do have a Mountain King sitting here very much in invisibility, coming out to cast Thunderclap. Does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Goes down anyway. I think he had already, it was on cooldown. I think he just bought a new one. And down goes the Mountain King at level 4. You see a really nice Wand of Lightning charge being used right here on this abomination, as you can see, hitting all of these human units. Basically just seeing these Blizzard being used just on this Lich alone. Gonna go ahead and coil the Lich up to full HP, and now you can see these units going ahead and starting to struggle. As you can tell, that the undead army has pretty much come down to one Destroyer, 2 Fiends, a Lich, and the Death Knight. Or there's 1 Fiend that is actually burrowed. As you can see, he's picking off these human units at the end of this fight. Will he go for the kill on the Archmage? He's trying to. Coil and Nova's it. Going to get another attack off. 1 more Coil will finish off this Archmage. Going to force the Archmage to TP. No, the Archmage simply dies to a Coil instead. Bit of an unfortunate turn, but that's going to make it difficult for the human player to win this game, certainly. And good games, or FFs, whatever you want to call it. Perhaps he had lag. I would assume that's what it was. Lag. A little bit unfortunate when you have to deal with lag, but either way, so that's the game. It's just a random Fit4Gaming Team League match.